High above the clouds, Flight 227 was gliding smoothly through the morning sky, a commercial airliner full of tired travelers and families heading home. In the cockpit, Captain Jack Reynolds adjusted his headset and smiled faintly at the sunlight reflecting off the horizon. To everyone on board, he was just another calm, steady pilot, the kind of man who greeted passengers with a reassuring voice and landed planes so gently people barely felt it. But that morning, something was different. Something was coming. Jack had lived quietly for years, raising his 9-year-old son, Ethan, after losing his wife in a car crash. He never talked about his past, not to friends, not to co-workers, not even to Ethan. To the world, Jack was a commercial pilot. But once upon a time, he was something else. Something that existed only in the silence of classified missions and blacked-out reports. Dad, Ethan's small voice echoed in his head, a memory from the night before. Do you ever miss flying the big, fast jets? Jack had smiled and said, sometimes. But I've got something faster now, you. Ethan had laughed, hugging him tightly before bed. Jack's heart ached remembering it. He had promised himself never to go back to that world then. Halfway through the flight, something strange happened. Delta 27, this is Air Command, you have unidentified craft approaching from the west, low altitude, the radio crackled. Jack frowned. Civilian pilots didn't usually get messages from Air Command. He picked up the radio, his calm voice steady. Control, say again? Static. Then silence. A moment later, two dark shapes streaked across the sky. F-22 Raptors, fast and low, circling the airliner like hawks. The passengers began to panic as the jets came into view through the windows. The co-pilot looked at Jack, fear creeping into his eyes. What's happening? Are we under threat? Jack's hands gripped the controls, instincts from another life kicking in. He adjusted altitude, spoke to ATC, tried to stay calm. Then a voice came through the radio, strong, commanding, and familiar. Flight 227, identify yourself immediately. Jack hesitated. He knew that voice. That tone. He'd heard it years ago in combat briefings and declassified missions. This is Captain Jack Reynolds, Delta Flight 227. A long pause followed. Then, through the radio, a stunned voice said, repeat that name. Jack Reynolds? Jack froze. No one on the civilian frequency should know that name. Not that way. And then, the voice said two words that silenced the entire cockpit, Ghost Rider? Jack's breath caught in his throat. The co-pilot turned to him, eyes wide. Ghost Rider? That Ghost Rider? Every pilot in the Air Force knew the legend, the one man who'd flown an F-22 through a missile storm to save an entire squadron. The man who'd disappeared without a trace after a mission that went so wrong it was erased from history. Jack hadn't heard that call sign in 9 years. The voice on the radio came again, shaky this time. Sir, it's Major Lewis. I was in your wing at Kandahar. Is it really you? Jack didn't answer right away. The memories hit him like a tidal wave, the screams over the comms, the explosion, the mission that cost him his best friend and his peace. He had left it all behind, built a new life for Ethan, and never looked back. But now, the past had found him mid-flight, above the clouds. Yeah, Jack said quietly. It's me. Inside the cockpit of one of the F-22s, Major Lewis pulled off his helmet, disbelief written all over his face. Ghost Rider, we thought you were dead. Not dead, Jack replied softly. Just grounded. Then the situation turned deadly. An emergency alert flashed on Jack's monitor. A rogue drone swarm had been detected, heading directly for their flight path. Civilian planes were defenseless against them. Air Command had scrambled jets, but the drones were too close, and Flight 227 was right in their way. Jack's co-pilot panicked. What do we do? Jack looked out the window, the fighter jets banking hard. His mind raced. He could save them, but it meant breaking every rule. He reached for the comms. Major Lewis, I need control of your Raptor. Sir, that's against protocol now, Major. Lewis hesitated, then, without another word, he locked his jet's frequency to Jack's control system. Jack transferred manual command through the remote override, an old emergency code only he could have known. Captain Reynolds, what are you doing? The co-pilot gasped. Jack's eyes were calm, steady. Saving my passengers. With a flick of switches and muscle memory he hadn't used in years, Jack guided the Raptor remotely from the cockpit of the airliner. The passengers below had no idea their pilot was now controlling a fighter jet, dancing it through the sky, intercepting drones one by one. The first explosion lit up the horizon like a sunrise. The second one came closer. And through it all, Jack's voice remained steady. "Hold altitude. Keep her level. I've got this." Lewis watched from his other jet in awe. He's still the best." The final drone locked onto the commercial plane. Jack took a deep breath, rolled the Raptor inverted, and slammed into full throttle, intercepting the drone head-on. The radar went dead silent. The sky went still, and then, silence. Jack pulled his headset off, chest heaving. The radio crackled once more. "Ghost Rider, welcome back." When they landed, the passengers had no idea what had just happened, only that their pilot had been calm, brave, and steady through something terrifying. But among the crowd of officers waiting on the tarmac were men in uniforms, saluting him with tears in their eyes. That night, Jack sat on the porch with Ethan asleep beside him, the sunset burning orange across the horizon. For the first time in years, he didn't feel haunted, just proud. His son stirred and smiled in his sleep. Jack whispered, "Maybe some ghosts are worth keeping." And as the soft wind brushed against him, he looked up at the sky where a lone F-22 streaked across the fading light, its pilot tipping the wings in salute. Jack smiled. "See you up there, brother." The screen fades to black, text on screen. If Ghost Rider's story inspired you, like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories of courage, sacrifice, and second chances. Because sometimes, heroes don't wear capes, they wear pilot wings, and raise their kids alone, still listening to the whisper of the sky that once called them legend.